Hello and welcome. This is Gavin from Lenovo Social, here with Kevin Beck, our product expert. Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Gavin.
We are here today to unbox the mystery product. In fact, it may be the worst kept secret in ThinkPad history. Some details leaked onto the web a while back, but we're very proud and very pleased today to unbox the ThinkPad X1 notebook.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started with the ceremonial cutting of the tape, but just wanted to give a little background. This is obviously not the first ultra portable or ultra thin we've done, but it is the thinnest ThinkPad that we've ever done. There are a couple of machines that most of the viewers are probably going to be familiar with, the X300 and the X301, but there were a few throughout time that weren't even necessarily sold in the United States. There was a ThinkPad 235 that was sold only in Japan back in the 98-99 time frame that actually ran off of camcorder batteries.
Okay.
And then we had a ThinkPad X30 that was also only sold in, I think, Japan, Taiwan, and Australia maybe, back in the early 2000s that were very small and thin, but this represents the latest and greatest. So there's our ship group, our power supply, and our cable. And again, I point this out every time, but the recycled and recyclable packaging that's used for the tray there, as well as the end caps. So if you would,
nice to point out that Forbes magazine just named us as one of the 10 top innovative tech companies. That was on the web this week, I believe.
All right,
Thank you.
so we'll get rid of the box there. So there's our first view of the ThinkPad X1 in the box. I'm going to go ahead and break the seal here and pull this out. So what we've got here is a ThinkPad that first and foremost is designed to be a full performance ultra thin PC with no performance compromises. You can get full volt i5 on this. There will also be i3 options, but that is one of the key differentiators of this product in this ultra thin and light class is that you get full normal volt performance with this machine. I'll go ahead and open this up here and give just a second to see the profile of the screen. We have at various times used carbon fiber for the lids on some machines. That enables us to be very, very thin at a significantly higher price point. For the purposes of this machine, we've chosen to go with a magnesium top, which lets us be just as thin. It's a hair heavier than carbon fiber, but it is significantly cheaper and, most importantly, much easier to manufacture. Okay. So here's the first look inside the machine. You observant readers will not fail to notice that the keyboard is a departure from the classic ThinkPad. This is the same layout and style of keyboard that we've been using in our ThinkPad Edges. It's what we would call an island style and is referred to in the industry sometimes as a chiclet keyboard. Okay. It does, however, have the full drainage attributes of the classic ThinkPad line. So this is
spill resistant, as we call it, right?
Exactly. And this is a Corning Gorilla Glass screen. Nice. Very, very tough. Very resistant to scratch and to impact. So I'm going to close this briefly, give you a look at the profile there. Make sure I'm holding this at
Kevin,
the right.
what's the actual thickness then on the X1?
It's 0.65 inches in the front and 0.86 inches in the back. All that comes in at about 3.7 pounds. Okay. So what you've got here on, I guess what would be the left side of the screen is your port cover for your, if I can get this open, for one of your USB ports and your combo port for your headphone and microphone. Close that back up there. Spin the machine around. So as we go around the back here, you have your lock slot, your power connector, your combo USB and eSATA port, mini display port, HDMI, and USB 3.0. And then this cover here is for adding in your SIM card for your wireless WAN activation. Okay.
Good to see the USB 3.0 on there. I know I've got a lot of people on the Lenovo Facebook page and in the YouTube comments asking about USB 3.0.
Right. This port selection is, however, indicative of what I personally view as the wave of the future in terms of display out ports. You will notice there is no VGA. So we have HDMI, so it's immediately connectable to any large home display device. Sure. You have mini DisplayPort here, which can in itself support DisplayPort connections, VGA connections, DVI connections, and HDMI connections, just with the use of a dongle such as this piece here. you would just simply, oops, as I drop it, insert this here, if I can get it oriented the right way, and then you have your VGA out.
Great.
Okay. Then moving around, Ethernet here, and then on the other side you've got your wireless off and on switch. This is actually your bay for replacing your hard drive here, and a 4-in-1 SD card slot.
Great.
The bay is the newer standard 7mm high bay height, but it is a 2.5-inch wide bay, so it can accept either SSDs or HDDs. We'll be shipping this in configurations with 320 gig SSDs and 160 gig SSDs.
Or yeah, 320
gig HDDs,
right?
and
okay.
160 gig SSDs.
Great.
So let's go ahead and power this on.
You started talking about the keyboard, and someone who's watching right now may have just noticed something about the keyboard that they've never seen on a ThinkPad before.
Right. This is in fact our first backlit keyboard. I don't know how well this is going to show up, and it may. Is it on? Yep. We would have to turn the lights off in here for you to really see it, but if the angle's right, you can see that there's light coming out from the sides of the keys there.
Go ahead and turn the lights.
There we go.
There you go. It gives you a better look. I don't know if you want to hold it up.
Right. ThinkPad backlit keyboard. Nice. One of the reasons that we had not historically done that is because we didn't want to make any compromises on the drainability of spilling water through the keyboards.
Okay.
So it actually took us, quite honestly, a long time to come up with a design that we were personally satisfied with in terms of reliability and durability and quality and all those other things, to make sure that we could retain both the drainability while still implementing the USB backlight.
Well, again, the theme of the design being no compromises, trying to get the ultra portable profile without compromise. It's good that the classic spill-resistant keyboard is still on there. I know people who know ThinkPads for that, as well as the roll cage and passing the military spec tests. They'll be happy to know this is solid on all those counts, right? 8
U.S. military mil-spec tests, and while I go through the out-of-box here quickly, I'm going to try to line that up so you can just get a shot of how thin that screen actually is. So just go through this. We'll, as always, call the user Lenovo.
A couple of other things to point out for this is of course pitched as a business machine at times. Certainly, a number of executives will be carrying these around, but it's also going to be available at a price point where students, other small business owners, and people like that would really enjoy this. And from a consumer standpoint, it's also got Dolby Home Theater version 4 on it, and HDMI, of course, just thinking about using it for non-businessy things, Kevin, right?
Right. And one of the other things that I wanted to point out is that this system, unlike the majority of our classic ThinkPad line, does have a sealed, non-user replaceable battery. That's however, because it is sealed, it is a 1,000-cycle battery.
Okay. What does that mean?
What that means is that in the case of a normal battery, you'll start to see significant degradation after the battery's been through 400 to 500 to 600 cycles. Start to see a decrease in the amount of time that the battery lasts per charge. So this one is rated at 1,000 cycles. So that's almost 3 years of a once daily full recharge cycle. And this also has a new technology that's currently the first ThinkPad to have it, which is a rapid charge technology, so that if you're traveling with this and you're on a plane and you have a very limited amount of time to recharge your battery, you can get back to 80% of full charge within 30 minutes of charging.
That's definitely a first for us, right?
It is, absolutely. And I'll just briefly show on camera here. The system battery itself is coming in right at about 5 hours, but we have an option here for another 5 hours of battery life, which is a slice battery. We colloquially call them slices. The marketing name for this battery will be the ThinkPad Battery 39 Plus. This will simply, as with our other slice batteries on our X220s, just fit into some slots on the bottom and attach, so it's all one unit that can be carried around together for 10 hours of battery life.
I know we had a lot of interest on the X220 battery, the ThinkPad Battery 19 Plus, and so yeah, you guys can refer to that. There's actually another video on our YouTube channel about that 19 Plus battery.
Okay.
And so this one is specifically for the X1 then, right?
Right. So, standard features here, fingerprint reader that you've come to expect from ThinkPad. The new functionality for the backlit keyboard, traditionally our ThinkLite was activated by doing function and the delete key in the opposite corners of the screen. But the new one is function spacebar to activate and it's clearly screened in blue there with a little backlit keyboard icon so that you can light that up. This particular model I'm noticing is an i3, but as I said, it's going to come with in both i5 and i3 options.
Okay. Back to the display for a minute. You mentioned it's Gorilla Glass. What's the main point for people who may not be that familiar with Gorilla Glass? What's the main benefit of that? Obviously toughness, but what does it mean to a user?
That's really it. One of the reasons that we wanted to go with Gorilla Glass in this configuration was because the screen is so thin. And we'll post some videos before long on our website showing some of the tests on this machine specifically. They're already up there for other PCs where we send these through testing in our Yamato labs. Like they're closed, and these machines that put very specific pressure on different points, they'll, in many cases, we've tested, cause competitors' screens to crack. Right, so what we wanted to do was have both the magnesium protection in the back, but then a very, very durable, hard screen that protected the user from scratches and breakage, simply because the lid is so thin.
Mm-hmm. Great. All right, Kevin, anything else to add? I know some of the leaks that came out a while back having to do with the price. Mm-hmm. I saw the price quoted as over $2,900 US. Mm-hmm. In fact, I understand this thing is going to start at about $13.99 in the U.S. Is that right?
Right. That is, in fact, what I'm hearing. And I just wanted to point out to folks here that as this comes out of the box, in this particular model, for some reason, Windows Arrow and those things aren't turned on. So just wanted to make sure. Let's see if I can get this theme to apply.
Speaking of Windows, worth mentioning too for any of you who have been following our Enhanced Experience 2.0 stuff, that this is optimized with the Windows 7 operating system and gives you all the sort of performance benefits that are associated with that.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, thank you, Gavin.
Great. Thanks so much, Kevin.